Welcome back, everybody. So we've got an RSI Divergence Indicator pulled up here. And this is one that we've used before. And we're looking at our pump and dump detector. Okay, so it'll let us know if it's pumping or dumping or running or... There we go. All right, so we're looking at this RSI divergence. Okay. Now you can find that RSI divergence out there if you just type in, RSI, divergence on ThinkScript. You should be able to find that. I think I found this particular one on usethinkscript.com, but maybe I found it on like Hontech or something. Okay. But just for fun, let's go over and look at GameStop and see where we have big divergences here. Okay, and if we have a divergence from here to here, okay, that kind of makes us think that the trend could change, and then a divergence, it looks like from here to here. So when we see that, we look for the trend to possibly change in another direction. Okay, so we see this big divergence here to here. We'll see what this next one creates. Okay, now we were watching GameStop. If you've been with the channel, you would know when we queued up on it, which was right around when it hit its low. Okay, and of course, let's pop on over to the ape favorite, AMC. But it seems like there are some things that just aren't being said and talked about. Okay. Isn't that interesting? American Funds AM Cap F2. So when we start to see these divergences here, maybe we should be looking for a reversal, a change in the trend. Okay, so we're looking at AMC on the weekly. So let's pull out the time and price opportunity. And now we can see that where I had my alerts and my watches and all that whatnot set to, they're still accurate, but it looks like there are some big gaps here. And it seems like maybe on the weekly some things have possibly changed. Looks like this one's still close to the same, but the bottom is opened up a bit more. Okay. But it does look like we have followed the trend and we are keeping with our trend here. So are we getting down into this area? Okay. Which might even show up as a dip into the S3 zone. Okay. So we look for those S3 dips. But we've got a big divergence here and a big divergence from here to here. And it looks like we are going to keep on going down into that $20 range. Okay. And we'll have to wait to get pulled back down, possibly wherever they find their bottom at, or a dip to a particular area. So I was looking at the $5 range. Right now it looks more like the $4, 464. Replace. And get rid of that one. Go away. And bring this one down. All right. And this will keep us prepared for both directions of the market. And that way we can be prepared if it goes one way or the other. Doesn't matter. And we'll hit replace at 755. There we go. All right. Now, let's come in here and pull out our Squeeze Pro scans. Those are pretty good. And we like to know which ones are squeezing, or looks like Fitbit. Okay. So let's go for our squeeze pros here. We'll add them in. And that will let us know okay. Not exactly what I had in mind. Let's get rid of that one. And here we go. So we have a Squeeze Pro 3 scan, and it tells us when something is in a squeeze. All right. And let's bring this out to the daily. All right. So just like we had way back when we first queued up on it, and the RSI came up above and it went green light after the low, with these big high projections, we can see that it was going to blow up at some point. All right. So we recognize that as a dip buy, and then it goes green. The ergodic oscillator picks it up, and then it falls off. All right, you pick up your trend again, falls off. Dip buy. Trend, fall off. Green dot squeeze. Interesting. Big divergence. Okay. Now we notice this big divergence here. And then what happened? With the green dot squeeze, a big divergence, red dot squeeze, price fell off, didn't it? It kept on falling. All right. And now we got our dip buying opportunities. We see these here. And we see the possibility in here. And it looks like we do have a slight divergence here. All right. So where there's a divergence here, we might see a reaction in the opposite direction. Okay. But knowing whether it's being squeezed or not, that's important. All right. So this piece of info gives us that squeeze scan. All right. And we're going to use this Squeeze Pro 3. We're going to make a little label there. All right. So let's go up here and we're going to grab it from in here. And we don't have to show the underlying all the time. Okay. We can just say show trend or show label. So let's copy all this, and we'll come in here to our Squeeze Pro 3. All right. Now, anything that says plot, here we go. That's going to be what we really need to base things around. All right. So between the squeeze, and let's see if there's any way we can point out the divergence here. So we've got the RSI with divergence by Mobius. Looks like version 1, or unless it was made on January 1st, 2013. Okay, so it's a RSI with divergence, though. Install this as a new study. Save this study using the name above the first line of code, RSI with divergence. Very good. Do not try to load it directly in the scanner. It will throw an error message. Go to the Scan tab, delete any existing scan criteria. Click Add Study a Filter. Okay. Let's see. All right, click the window in the job. All right. You choose down high or down low in addition to the default plot RSI. If you choose either of the divergence signals, choose is true from the center column. Click on the aggregation period. Okay. Now put the list of the stocks you wish to scan in the scan box and choose any list you want that to intersect with. Okay. Okay, if you make this a dynamic watch list, save this scan with a name such as RSI with div WL, then in your gadgets box, click the little gear icon, locate the name of the scan you just saved, and click it. As equities match the scan criteria, they will populate the list. Okay. Excellent description there. So we've got N, overbought, oversold. Here's our plot. Plot. Okay, current pivot high, current pivot low. All right. So that gave a pretty good description of how to set it up. So we'll go through, we'll set that up, and we'll come back to that later. But it seems pretty straightforward. We'll go through and choose either divergent signals, true from the center column. Okay. So we'll have to give that a bit of a try too. So a divergence and a squeeze are going to be two good things to know about, okay? Now, the regular RSI doesn't show you where these big divergences are. And sometimes it's hard to catch a big divergence on, a daily or weekly 4-hour time chart. You see, here's one that it's saying is a bit of a divergence here. But you can also use just your regular overbought, and oversold signals. They work too. So if we look for the signal to be oversold, then not, that would be a buy signal, and then look for it to be, overbought, and then not, and then that could be a sell signal. Or whichever way you wanted to go about it. Looks like we've got quite a few on our list here. And these are, looks like ones that are being squeezed currently. Probably on the daily time frame. That's a 4-hour time frame. And the daily time frame does show a squeeze as well. A red dot squeeze here on Bumble is a good thing. Ooh la la. All right, so look here with Bumble. Looks like they've cleared the way up to 54.38. Let her jump, and it'll probably get smacked back down somewhere around that area. So let's look for a pop up to the create alert area at or above and create. Okay. Now, I think we still do have that copy and paste here. And we'll have to go in and get this to make our label of it being squeezed. Right now it's going to plot ergodic oscillator stuff, and we don't want that. We want it to plot these things. So, those are the ones we want to define: uptrend, downtrend, blah, blah, blah. So, I need to put something here. See if that works. And that should give me a little remember, not finished. Hopefully. Looks like we are hitting a nice rock bottom here on the Bumble. Alright, now the Squeeze Pro Daily Scan does have some very nice things on it. Fitbit, and here's one that's probably going to pop off very soon. It's going to pop and then get smacked down to here and then take off and run. So that looks to be the way of it. Alright, and let's draw from here to here, and from here to here. Okay. And it looks like we'll be looking for a touch in this line, and then if it gets pushed back down, this looks like the area. Clove here. And clove is pretty much, well, looks like it might start making its moves onwards and upwards too. Okay, ergodic up, running, and we'll have to see if we're under a squeeze. And we can put on our auto trend lines and our auto Fibonacci's. And that's going to give you a Fibonacci with some deviations and some other things. So we get many, many different things to pay attention to. FitB, Fifth Third Bangkor. Makes me think it's like the Fitbit watch company. Well, look at this big red dot squeeze here. That's very important to pay attention to when you see these big red dot squeezes. Yes. Red dot squeeze, and then an explosion. Alright. There's a red dot squeeze move. That one's not a very long red dot squeeze, but the longer the red dot squeeze, there's usually a pretty big move after that. So we look for such things. And we've got our trend lines automatically plotted here for us. So it gives us some major trends and minor trends, and using these major and minor trends, okay, mixed with your RSI, your RSI divergence, you can really start to see the differences in, say, divergences on smaller time frames, 5-minute, and larger time frames, like the weekly, if we can get it to pop up. And you've got these trend lines here. But when our RSI is coming up and our price is going down, that counts as a divergence. So it created one. And now we'll look for a change, in the direction of the trend. I'm going to think, let's see, GameStop's way out of the range that it was in before. Oh. It's going to do it again. That's almost a little weird there, isn't it? That's all right. Oh, looks like we didn't finish that one. And let's get rid of our demo there, make some more room. Yeah, that's an interesting pattern. Green light, red dot, squeeze, pop. Green light, red dots, a little bit of a squeeze. That pushes and pops downwards. Okay. And AEMD's been a popular one, but as we can see, they're pretty well bearish now. We also need to get possibly, the idea of a golden cross strategy. Which we might find a golden cross when the 50 or 55 period cross the 150 or 200 periods. Okay. But really, we would have taken this signal here, as bearish. So, and it looks like this, our 200 period or 150 period, when it's riding over top of my faster periods, that's a problem. So we should make a golden cross, death cross kind of strategy too. And I know that I have one. So we'll do that in another video. I don't want to play with too many things all at one time. But I can see that they like having their market maker move. And the RSI gamma there. Okay. So let's check that out too. And we use this to tell us when something is in a gamma squeeze. Okay. So let's go over to our gamma squeeze list. So we've got our squeeze pro list. So that lets us know about a regular squeeze. All right. And it looks here, CRI is in a gamma squeeze, and that is Carter's. All right. Now let's go over and pull out that gamma squeeze list. Looks like many of these are on the list. So Tesla is on the list here at 722. Saba, Snow, Cyber, very good. So we can see this gamma squeeze and that divergence start. Gamma squeeze, gamma squeeze. Okay, can they gamma squeeze it up over the support lines? Well, they're trying. Okay, it's likely that it could fall, or that it could fall and catch this as the resistance. Make that the the new support there. Fun stuff. Looks like Bumble is gamma squeezing. It's on the gamma squeeze list, so it must have really popped up for the day. Must already be in the gamma squeeze. Unless this is like a 4-hour scan, so we can check that too, but it's close. It could be showing up in the 4-hour scan. That's just going on the good side. Green dot. Looks like Apple might even continue to keep on going. So there are many stocks right here in the Ligare that are being squeezed. IO. So if any of these pop out to me tomorrow in the morning, I'll know that they're getting the attention. And maybe even putting these up against, let's say, like a social sentiment list. Or we have our 6-way squeeze alert and our 4-way squeeze alert. So if it's getting squeezed on 4 different time frames, that's probably going to draw a lot of attention. Okay. But what I'm noticing is that as we learn more about the market maker's move and his mission to stay delta neutral, okay, that's the idea here. Delta neutral. So if he has to stay delta neutral, then they kind of have to do the opposite of what we're doing. So if we're buying, one, they have to, sell it. Or if we're selling, they have to buy, contracts. Interesting thoughts. Looks like IEC Electronics. Look at it go. Now, this is one that we should have been able to pick up on, but why didn't we? Okay. So when our gamma here crosses above, that might be something we want to know about. Okay. So we can see where the RSI is. This is the RSI. This is the RSI. Okay. It's a bit more smoothed, though. And when our RSI finally goes positive here, that might even give you a signal to buy the very next dip. And then you get your low not long after. Pizza, Papa John's. All right. And that golden cross strategy might be denoted right here as a golden cross breakout. Okay. But had we followed the strategy we just forementioned, we would have gotten our signal here. Or maybe even here. Okay. Okay. What's next? Box. SLQT. ENB. And that's not a terrible market maker move. You might be able to make some money with that. Looks like they have been taking control, though. You know, you collect up the shares, and it gives you the ability to provide the liquidity to have the control. Okay, let's think about what happened with Palantir here. Palantir started crashing, and Cathie Wood bought it up. Okay, that was a great thing. Lovely that she did that, because that created the bottom. Okay, and then it fell a little bit more. She bought up more and bought up more and bought up. Okay, well, that's the idea there. Don't let the price fall. They bought it up, created the bottom. Now she controls the price. She has the shares. He who has the money has the power. Bam! Brookfield Asset Management. And that's not very nice. Okay, so we might even see a little bit of a dip into this very next moving average. Looks like that's what it did. It touched maybe the 100 or 150 and then took a pullback up from there. But I don't hate the way that this looks because, I mean, that's an icky move right there, sure, but they don't do it that often. And there are plenty of dojis to get good entries. Yeah, you guys know about the doji dance, right? Buy the doji, buy the doji. Okay, yeah, I mean, every once in a while they do it, but they're just doing it to clear the way for the onward or proper move. All right. Yeah, I don't hate it. And Heikinashi does have a really good way of catching, the change in the trend. Okay. So I like it. So we'll look for squeezes, rock bottoms, changes in trend, RSI divergences, and gamma squeezes, and the full size of the market maker move and the percentage. And that helps us know where we can get in and out, and if we can get in and out with some profit. Because if the market maker move is not very wide, the bid-ask spread isn't very wide, then you can't come in on the bid side and offer something, 90.69. Okay, well, I don't want to pay 90.69. I want to pay 89.50, and I'll take 1,000 shares there. All right, well, you take 1,000 shares at the 89.50, or let's just say we take 1,000 shares of AMED, at $3.61, or $3.50. Okay, I don't want to pay $3.61. I want it at $3.50, but I'll take 1,000 shares. You show me a little love right away, I might stick in the game a little longer. All right, and if it's within 10-15%, I've noticed a lot of times you will get the deal because they know that you are going to sell back in to the crowd, thus giving them their shares back and giving more liquidity. So slippage. And pet Q. So for my shameless plug, hit the like button, go down and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Join us on social media. Look for those, golden crosses and death crosses and whatnot. And this actually looks like it might be very, very interesting. I likey this. I'm glad I clicked on that. Okay, so let's keep an eye on pet Q when we get rolling tomorrow. All right. But this one is bottoming out. So let's look for the change in direction anytime now. But yeah. Oh yeah. I like this. IHRT. iHeartMedia. Oh, well, 6.16%, but it's only a $1.41%, move. You can see when they started buying it back up, it became a good opportunity out of the green dot, squeeze here downwards. Rock bottom, RSI up, gamma up. Looks like this is going to get smacked back down, though. And it's going to have to trade sideways for a little bit here until it can get above 0. And then it'll start to take off. So, but under the 200 moving average, we really can't be bullish on it at this time. It needs to show, although this is a very corrective move, I still think there's going to be another correction, before it's able to get out. But it is in the process of building its block to step up once more. So it'll build its block trade, get them all together, and then after a certain time, it will, have a value that eventually needs to be corrected. All right. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.